have not seen it.
She looks exactly. Sit down.
Wait for it. And
1, 2, 3.
Hey! You're late.
I want to see the person that like tunes in as soon as it comes on, and they're like, "Hold on, wait for it." I am Cheza.
Floyd Tracy. Go for it, man. You're right there.
It's your moment.
It's
Your moment.
It's meant for moment.
Kokomo.
I don't know about this beach, but I'm hip hop, aka rap,
Here you go.
AKA.
fly crowd, everything.
Kokomo Sans neck pillow.
Yeah, and we are the Shot Club. David, could you fill the
Who's back there?
First of all,
a little bit?
you forgot one
Oh, sorry.
person. Always.
Hey guys.
We have our DJ Mylon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to
Yes.
Jardel in
Do
the
what?
building.
Tilted a little more towards me, a little less here. Thank you.
That better, sir?
Wonderful.
Alright.
You can see the shoulders.
You look like a whole person?
I do. Oh, yes, sweatsuit season.
7 OG. Fly crown.
I went up to Sudbury,
Tank top.
and it was just as cold as here.
Tank top and iced coffee. All
Yeah.
No sleeves matter.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
sleeves matter.
Most sleeves matter.
Let's take our first shot. What's the first shot, too?
Money.
Okay, yeah, money. Money, yeah.
Rest in peace, Jimmy Spicer.
Word.
Here we go.
What is sweet juice?
What's your favorite popsicle?
What's your favorite freezer?
Yeah, freezing.
The white one.
Hey!
Hey!
Oh, the white freezer, even though it's red.
I know.
It's like red lentils. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Sorry about
Don't know anything about that part.
that. On that note, how was your week?
Hold on, let me start off.
Chester's like delayed today.
So I'm here to live.
He's in a different time zone.
I'm still cold. But yeah.
You should
So how was your week,
You should
Mo?
probably be wearing a coat.
Huh?
You probably gave them all away.
So how was your week?
I was fucking tired.
Throw him the alley. You can throw it
I was tired all week. Sleepy.
Why?
Sleepy.
No, a big birthday week.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago. But yeah, still recovering.
Effects.
Still recovering. Yeah, I'm just.
If you want to
It's
know,
that time of year, you know, lack of sunlight.
and if you'd like to know about how Mo was his birthday, watch the episode.
Yeah.
Or don't. I'm not going to. So.
Rumor has it you got mollywopped.
So that's it. That's
But
just day of
Yeah,
rest.
I
A week
guess-
of rest.
I guess, yeah. We go. Kind of rest.
Okay.
I'm gonna try the rest.
So how's your week, David?
No?
No
we got-
words.
No?
Yeah.
My week was really good, guys. It was fantastic. I know you guys missed me last week, so I'm sure I could talk about 2
Were you
weeks.
not here last week?
I was not.
Oh yeah, he wasn't here last week.
Shows how much we missed you.
Yeah.
He really wasn't here.
I'm gonna skip my week. I'm
You want
gonna
to know?
start
You
dancing.
want to know that
dancing
didn't
to
miss
it.
him the most? The neighbor downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start dancing. So I'm gonna pass over my week.
So you didn't have a week?
Man, I worked and I was working overnights, midnights, so my days were backwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when everybody else was, getting home from work, I was sleeping, getting ready to go to work. That was a good time.
Trace, how was your week?
Weekend was cool, man. You didn't let me finish.
What do you mean? How long?
But the
Are
highlights,
you gonna have to go through that?
the highlights of my week have been casual fun. And I'm not just saying that just to plug the show. Wednesday, 7 o'clock, shotclubpodcast.com. Stay notified. Slim came through. It's the first time we've had a
Well,
three-person
you
panel.
don't just do the podcast. You live that podcast.
Don't encourage such bad behavior.
Yeah.
Don't you live this podcast, sir? Every Sunday for the past.
Yeah, press. How long? Who knows?
We don't want to put a date on
Yeah, it was a good week. Good week. Good episode. Had with friends. It's been fun.
Cool. How about you, Byla?
Highlight of my week, Collie Buds. Last night, Collie Buds.
Yeah. How was that?
It was really good. The sound was amazing.
Where was it?
Phoenix.
Okay.
So it was just around the corner from my house, and I've been saying lately that I haven't been doing enough concerts there. So I went. It was decent. $30.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
I know you invited everybody. Did anybody take you up on your?
No, at least Trey said no thanks.
I was sleeping, man. I was sleeping, motherfucker.
It was a really good concert.
I had to be up at 3 a.m. So
Nice.
It was dope.
yeah.
He sang all the hits. He had somebody with him, Jessica something. I'll have to look it up. She was amazing. Amazing. It sounded like the sound quality was so good. I thought they could have been playing your CD.
Yeah.
But he's not from Atlanta, so I know it's not true.
Okay.
Sorry, Atlanta.
Ah.
I like the shots. Oh yeah.
How was your week there, moderator?
That was fine. It was alright. It was cool.
No, it can't be just cool. You had stuff to it.
Usually he starts out with, "Oh, it was good,"
It was alright.
and then we wait, and then we say, "Is that all?" And then you say,
man.
and then you say,
So this week I did a coat drive in Sudbury.
A what?
A coat drive.
Couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
It's a little chilly over here.
So
They
yeah.
need a coat.
So yesterday I did the
Don't
coat drive.
sugarcoat it. Tell us how it really went.
So I did a coat drive yesterday. It was during the day. We held it in the mall. From like 1 to 6. Artists performed. Storm Hogan,
certain artists in the building.
Jordell Downs, Mickey O'Brien. Righteous came through with Click Walker.
Really?
Performance
Okay.
too. Yeah.
They came Sudbury.
Yeah. Just came for the first set, which was 15 minutes, 20, and they went for it.
Wow.
Yeah. For them, Powder, J.A., DJ Uzi, and then, yeah, I'm trying to think of all the artists. Kurt. There's 8 of them. I should have just started counting on my finger until I got to 8. It would have made sense. But yeah. I see that, but I didn't want to turn on the TV, and then, like, I don't know what mode to watch now.
You can imagine.
That's why. So yeah, we did a coat drive.
Turnout was good.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. Got a lot of coats. So then we broke down the coats. Well, first me and World Peace.
I saw
Me and World Peace.
Shout out to
World
Walkie.
Peace is still around?
Oh
Yeah, he's
yeah,
still
World Peace
around.
still around. Oh yeah, you didn't see him on $6.
Was that $6? Really?
He's the guy in the West Edmonton Mall.
Doing what? I didn't.
He's
Dancing?
He's like
in front of the
dancing,
truck?
performing in front of like a model car
Okay.
and shooting a video. The guy shooting off his phone.
And so that was enough for $6 to put it on?
Shout out to World Peace Jesus.
World Peace.
Um,
So yeah, he came out that night or last night. We drove around to like wherever we saw like a group, and then gave out jackets.
oh, that's how you went about it.
Yeah, well, first we did it that way.
Okay.
Went down to the mission, gave them like they were still open, so I gave them like 4 bags. Then the rest was pretty much kids and women. So we broke it down. So World Peace is gonna take the women's ones to the women's shelter.
Okay.
Ro and Debbie are gonna take the kids ones and give it to Bedrigan because they weren't open. So they're gonna drop that off or tomorrow. So yeah. All in all, we got 150 jackets.
Nice.
Yeah, I actually meant to give you some ask what this
It's straight. What's it called? What's his name? Mike Stoningville wants to do one here.
Yeah.
We're probably gonna do one on the 21st. Or even what's it called? Righteous too. This Friday. I think he's gonna announce something like we're gonna do like a quick coat drive. So if you wanna give it so much.
Could even collaborate with Dynamic.
True.
Yeah.
Dynamic
Because he
is
was
the food drive.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dynamic. The food drive is the
12.
12th to the 14th.
Oh, yeah.
Toronto is going to be the 12th.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
Shout out to Dynamic. We got so far good. Can you see it?
I'm trying to pull it up right now.
So yeah, where's your remote?
We got Renee in the house. We got Righteous in the house.
Renee,
We
what up?
got Oshi Craze in the house.
Righteous, Social Crazy, what's that?
I don't know.
We got Miss Malika London in the house. Saint Gentleman. Lady.
Say what?
I believe so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Possibly not.
Real.
There's grill on the elevator.
I feel like, you know what, I think there is.
This is brand new and everything, right?
Yeah, they're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, good question. But I don't know who's using it, so.
But anybody say
It's all
anything?
the-
Mhm.
Did anybody say anything? That you?
Or no, maybe it's
That's you with the hands?
it's not on the couch.
No, that's what I just said. I said, Oshi Crazy in here, Renee in here, Righteous,
Oh, okay.
Peace Show, Malika Ladies and Gentlemen.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I see a heart now.
That is
Oh, thanks. All
that is Renee.
the sounds.
Went off with Event was off the hook.
Renee came through, watched the 2 sets.
Cool. Did like everything went smoothly? You didn't have to. Nothing popped off.
No.
You didn't have to tell anybody to sip it.
No.
You have to tell him that you're a gunny boy?
No. Everything was cool, man.
Did
Few wait, coach. Few people actually came in while we were doing the coach
So
drive. Got a coach.
did the whole hood come through?
Actually, I'm surprised it tasted better than I.
But yeah, no, it was a good event.
And nobody stole anything? They didn't jack it?
He's been thinking this. He's been thinking this up all day. Well, he's had a couple weeks where it hasn't fully. I guess so.
My God.
I guess so.
Yeah, it wasn't too quick. 2 weeks ago. The last week I was.
Somewhat incapacitated.
I was pretty quick last week.
Last week you were.
Okay. I wouldn't know how to sleep.
Your costume is
Keep going. Go next one.
Get it out your system. Come on.
Go next one. But
they didn't
actually,
stop you and ask you why you asked me, Jack.
A Chester,
Hey!
as a Chester situation,
Excuse me, sir.
and everything never goes all the way right. Never
Of course.
deals with me. So at the end of the night, so the place that we got, it was like an old the place used to be a hair salon, so it still had like pipes for like the water and stuff, right? So I placed the speakers in there so nobody could touch them. But after, once we took them apart, took away the speakers and all that stuff, my niece was running around. Out of nowhere, I would hear her scream, go, "Ah!"
Well, that was.
That was a weird scream myself. But anyways, so she jumps up, we turn around, water is just everywhere. So we run, grab her, we turn off the pipe, had to flip all the way to go. Well, it didn't touch any of the stuff at all. But yeah. So that happened first. So she's soaking wet, the place is like soaking wet, so we had to like mop up the place. This is the end of the night. Go outside, and our mom herself in Sheena, she ends up locking her keys in her car. So I'm like, damn, all right. So with my niece all wet and stuff, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put her in my car, and so she can sit down and warm up. Battery's dead. So World Peace has a car, no jumper cables. She not jumper cables in her car. Keys are in there too. So I ended up having to call a tow truck, get her door open, and then she drove my car.
Sounds like an amazing night,
Yeah.
sir.
It's a Chestnut.
Shout out
Something
to
has to go wrong.
Shout out to
community
It's not
Chestnuts.
a-
efforts.
Not a good.
No, to Chestnuts.
Here we go. You were really,
So much sugar.
you were really in the trench there.
Anyways, what type of news you hear this
I
week?
can't.
Look at this guy.
When we started now with
Actually, let's start with the whole thing. So, on Iceberg Society, I did this. Where this shit I was looking for? WWE Aggression. This album is hilarious. songs by Roscos. Like they picked Jordell. Who's all the people they picked? There's Roscos,
There's
Mac
Method
10, WC, Method Man.
Ron from
Yeah.
Helter Skelter.
That's that WWF.
When did this
album.
come out?
It's like 90,
2000.
2000? I was gonna say 99.
They even had Mystical on
I
it.
was gonna say 99.
Pretty great.
Very much so. All right, so yeah, so on Iceberg Society this week, I put up a post because we're Iceberg Society on Instagram.
Oh,
Put it
okay.
on Instagram. But yeah,
Spelled regularly or
no, with a GH, a URGH at the end, not a ERG.
you're a GH.
URGH. So this week I saw one guy put up a post about Tory Lanez and how he's like he has no true hits. Like he just keeps remaking other people's songs, which is keeping him popular, but he has no true hits. Canadian producer. Well, that's pretty well known from what I see.
Okay.
I don't know.
What? You
The
said
person pulled it out.
He deleted it. He deleted it within
So
the hour.
what? So what?
Who was it?
it's not like he told
You
it
guys
to you
are
in confidence.
You guys are
Let me just go to Instagram right now. and
I
find out
hate
what it
when
is.
people do that. Let me post
I'm
something
telling this-
online, be messy, and then somebody hits
No,
me up
because
and
everybody was
You didn't
Running back
DM
on
it to
him,
you
like-
and you're.
no, but everybody was running back on him like, yo, why you hating? Like you
He
should be
was saying-
supporting your Canadian stuff.
He was
What's
saying-
that?
He might be
And then-
hating because as much as Tory's remixing all these songs,
he's winning.
he has producers doing the remixes of all these songs. This guy probably just never got selected for some
Before
shit.
you guys jump in, let me finish the whole thing.
You gotta tell us who the person is first, asshole.
But anyways, so the second thing I saw was the whole Drake thing at Flogna Festival we talked about last
Yeah.
week, where he got booed.
Mhm.
That wasn't in Canada, but
No.
at the same time, a lot of people here, it was funny to them, like, oh my god, Drake got booed. You see, they don't like him, blah blah blah. So then, when it came to the comments of it, I saw people saying, we should be supporting our Canadian artists. Like, why do we hate our artists? And truly, when I did the whole poll, Tory won. They say Tory gets more hate, basically, off the poll than Drake.
I wouldn't. Well, I didn't vote that. I wouldn't think that Tory would get more hate. I mean, if you're the biggest artist in the world, I would think you'd get more hate than most people get love.
I always feel like more people, I don't know. I see it from the outside, like the outskirts of Toronto. Like more people love Drake than they love Tory. But that's just because of, I'd say, fame wise.
But Tory doesn't really. Tory isn't like a Toronto artist. Like I'm, you know what I mean? He doesn't big up Toronto the same way. He doesn't really claim Toronto the same way. You know, I mean, he talks about how he grew up in all these other places. Yeah, he talks about how he grew up in New York and wherever the fuck else. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Spent some time there. Spent some time all over the place. So I don't know. I don't even think of him. I think like less people realize he's from Toronto. Same thing happened with Drake when he first came out, but Drake has made it known that he's from Toronto.
Right.
I think a lot of Americans probably don't even realize Tory's from Toronto.
He's staying in Miami.
Yeah, he does.
I wouldn't know how they view him.
Yeah, true.
So does he have any hits?
Yeah,
He does.
he does.
He's on hits.
That's like when I look at it, I don't believe he actually has a hit
Yes.
that I can say like it's like a timeless hit. Like when I look at Jesse Reyes, she has those hits that are like I know down the road when you play it, it's still gonna bump. Like when I look at Tory, I don't see that he actually has those hits. Like where when I say that, there's no feature on it and there's no sample on it. Just a Tory song. So the closest one to me would be Bust It Down.
I see.
Bust It Down would be the closest one. But I'm like, down the road, is that going to be one of those tracks that you're like, oh,
No, that's
I remember that song from there, or you're just vibing
for
to it?
for this generation, yeah. Yeah. Think of a song that Bust It Down kind of reminds you of from our generation.
And I don't think
Like people remember all the stupid shit from our generation too. Vanilla Ice,
Yeah, it's true.
like
But I don't say
people
they.
still bump to that
I guess
shit.
You can say they're the Vanilla Ice, that one song is timeless.
People
Ice
still
Ice
bump to
Baby.
that shit.
But they're not going to play the whole album.
They didn't play the whole album. Remember, one hit made sure Young MC never had to work a job in his life.
True.
Dougie
And that
Fresh,
was back then.
Dougie Fresh is still touring Lottie Dottie and the show.
We
From
like the party.
85.
Right. So one hit, bro, and that's what people want to hear.
But
They
is
want to
that
hear, they
like-
want to hear Dougie Fresh
Is
beatbox
Bust It Down
that shit.
that big
yeah.
of
I
a
don't
hit?
think. No, it's definitely not.
It's not on that scale, no.
That's what I'm saying. Does he have that type of hit?
Did you think those?
Maybe not yet.
Did you think those were going to be that massive going down the road?
At the same
There were
time,
moments, those first time you heard Funky Cole Medina. You stopped and watched. Like,
No.
what is this stuff?
No.
At the same time, we're not. I don't think we're his audience to where it would affect us the same way.
So I'm saying these kids.
Agreed, but I still don't get. I don't think.
I don't think that's his biggest hit though.
And you have to take into consideration sales.
I don't think that's his biggest hit though.
Sales are different today. How we looked at things with like radio, video. I don't know how kids view it. Is it views? Is it stream numbers? Does that affect them the same way? Because we'll listen to a song and
It's
say,
a whole different landscape because music is meant to be disposable now, and it's about what's hot and then what's next and what's next. I mean, there are very few songs I think that will have that type of impact.
and we remember stuff because releases are spaced out more often. Like every Friday, there's hundreds. It's got to be hundreds.
Well,
of
Dre
releases.
just came out and said he's wanting to go with quality right now. Which is, I mean, that's not groundbreaking news, but yes, it's exactly what.
It's also different releases with them, but I digress.
But speaking of Dre, he made an announcement recently.
Did he make it by himself?
No, I think he was with somebody.
Was this on a Sunday or?
Might have been.
Wait a second. Hold on. Before we even get into that, we didn't even touch that. So we're about to talk about Dre and Kanye.
We talked about it. That's all. That's it.
No. Before we started, but didn't Kanye say he wasn't doing any secular music?
What do you mean? He said it's gonna be Jesus is King.
Dr. Dre's gonna do a
He
gospel.
said
album?
part 2. Yeah.
That's what they said is
never coming
happening?
out.
That was the post. It said
Then
Jesus-
then-
They're in the
Part two.
studio. Okay, there's a picture of them in the
Part two.
studio together, and then he's saying they're doing Jesus King too.
But Dre did say he's bored of music at the moment.
things just stay the same.
So why not jump into something that's totally but is he not?
That was fucking fantastic. Everyone's back, guys.
He's on a roll.
Wow.
I don't see it. I mean, just
Yeah.
content wise, I don't see it.
Okay, but hold on. Pause this real quick. I say Talk to Me is going to be a bigger hit for Tory Lanez down the road.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. I'd say that's his biggest hit.
That's going to be his biggest hit down the road.
Okay.
Right now.
The Jerry Springer shit is dope.
It is. That whole album is
All
dope.
right, I'm in the
But-
elevator.
But it's all
Back to album.
samples. To me, it's like
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's also made these artists rethink that song and redo it.
no. If you listen to the radio
And
now,
this skill.
like every other song is a remix of a '90s song.
No. He has Snoop on the album, redid his verse, right? He has Jagged Edge on the album, redid harmonies and all this shit.
Right.
He has Chris Brown on the album, again, redid his verse. Maya, same thing. All these people that came on the album redid their song for this guy. And some of these songs are like, yo, if you dropped this back in the day, you would have been 7 millions more.
Yeah.
That's how fire it
Peace,
is.
bro.
All right, peace, bro.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
All right, Joe, let's take it easy, man.
Let me make sure there's a little bit of
I think I'm honestly thinking about it.
Do you think we'll see at least a song?
I'm trying to decide.
From Kanye and Dr. Dre?
Yeah.
Nah,
What do you think? Do you think it'll happen?
Do you think
not in our generation.
there'll be at least a song?
I think there's gonna be music that comes out after the adults like pass away, and then their family gets older. I said, well, they said they're gonna put it out 45 years ago.
Is that like a Prince thing?
Prince and Lenny Kravitz? Yeah. That way for both of them to die
Yeah, because he's got
and the families to fight.
he's got a bunch of stuff.
And then for them,
It's really,
then for them to stupidly sell the people who own the rights of their music to other American.
it's really his lawyer.
Hey!
It's really his lawyer.
Who's lawyer?
That's Prince.
It's Lenny will not.
No, I'm saying that there's stuff in the vault. There's stuff that shouldn't have come out, but because
There's a lot of shit that shouldn't have come out.
I feel like my arms could shoot up like action figure.
Hey.
Hey! Chazza!
We're welcoming our guests for this evening.
We're talking about Norm. Norm!
Oh.
Yeah,
Cheers.
I think you're really trail blazer when it comes to having a co-drive.
Thanks.
Okay.
Anyways.
You bomber
Hey.
atomically.
You bumper atomically. Anyways, Cheza, who's our guest today, sir?
So today, our guest today. So today we have a guest. His name is S.
How do you spell that?
Is that the letter for today?
No, not. We should just if we throw the S across the screen.
This is the
No,
letter for
not the
today.
letter
Today's
S.
letter is
ES. And this is a adult rapper. It's not these kid rappers.
Lyrics matter.
They matter. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see
Wait,
it.
he raps the adult content? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well,
Isn't that interesting?
not most adult content, but content. I was gonna say not for children. It's still the same.
Adult
Anyways,
content.
you know what?
He's gonna explain
Bring
it all.
our guest in here. Our guest S.
Yes,
Our guest S.
yes.
Yo, where's
What's going on, man?
Alright.
blessed. I'm doing well. How are you?
Before we jump in, let's take our
That's
first
yours,
shot.
sir. That's yours.
That one's his.
All right.
What do you
Welcome.
propose we take
Yeah.
this toast to?
Toast to the Shark Cup podcast.
Oh, come on. That's so nice.
What is this?
Thank you.
Season 4?
Season 4.
That's so nice.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. So let's get down to brass tacks.
Double tap.
Yeah, you got double tap that. What's your favorite freezy?
Is this a trick question or
No, I just
I like orange.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Wow,
Okay. I can.
that's very adult of you. Most kids go for like, you know, like they want the yellow or like the peach or
Or
the
the
white, the pink.
I
Nobody,
or the red.
you never
The
see
red is
they go for the orange. The orange is always that last one that sits in your freezer. That's the one
In
that
my house, those go first. The
Because
orange
you
goes
eat them.
first.
Orange
Yeah.
popsicles?
Yeah, orange popsicles,
Orange
yeah.
popsicles?
Or creamsicles?
Creamsicles, yeah.
Never was a fan.
Well, creamsicles okay, but I'm not a fan of orange popsicles.
What about fudgesicle?
Yeah, they're okay. No, there's these new ones, right? It's made out of like
He's
melons
like-
and stuff.
he's like, I thought they were gonna
Like,
have
it tastes
crazy
like
questions
real
for me.
mango,
We
like
talked about
real
frozen
lemons,
desserts.
real everything. Check it out. Yeah.
Now, quick question. Since we spoke about Dr. Dre and Kanye and
Not
about
ever giving us a project.
not writing their own lyrics.
Yes, that part.
Since lyrics matter, sir, how do you feel about people who write their own rhymes, don't write their own rhymes, don't tell you they don't write their own rhymes?
Well, and just to add to that, is there like a special meaning behind lyrics matter, or is it just kind of as is?
No, just how I was feeling at the time.
You don't feel like that? No?
No, I still do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I own this. I stand by it. So yeah, it's lyrics matter. It's just kind of represents the era that I came up in, and my appreciation for that element of music. So I decided to write a song about it and make some merch.
That's like, it's big to use that hashtag with like the whole wording of it because at that time was Black Lives Matter. So it's a strong statement when like the lyrics matter.
Now,
Especially in today's
today's society. But now, does lyrics matter to the point where if you don't write it, if it's not your pen, then the lyrics don't count? Or
I won't say
someone else
that
can
it
write
count.
So it could be someone else's pen and somebody else's words.
Well, it definitely takes you out of the the top or greatest of all time conversations.
Okay.
You probably seen a bunch of discussions online or podcasts about that.
Right.
And yeah, if you're not the person penning the lyrics, you can't claim.
It's not in the conversation.
You can't be in the conversation. You get an asterisk next to
So if it's co-writing, or it's not
co-writing.
ghostwriting, but you're right beside the person, they might be scripting it for you, but it's your thoughts that they're using.
That's sort of like still help.
Yeah.
I mean, having somebody pitch in a couple of ideas here and there, or help on a hook or something is different. But the stigma has always been, if you're the person on the microphone, putting out music, you're the person, penning those lyrics.
Let me ask you, what's the most important part of a song?
It depends on what the goal is. I guess if if you're an artist that's, seeking to be on that, major platform, probably the hook is probably the most important thing, the beat and the hook.
Right. But if you have help on the hook, why is that least important than, or least looked at than someone writing your verse for you? You can write your verses, but if someone wants your hook or helped you write that hook, and that's what made the song.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Well,
Because, okay, I'll put it like this. So the verses is sort of like when you write an essay.
Right.
It's the, it's the meat and potatoes, or the bulk of the writing. And the hook is sort of the thing that kind of captures the ear of the listener,
That's
so that
the thesis.
they'll go back to it.
that's
Right.
the thesis. That's the
Yes,
most
the
important.
catch, it's the punch.
That's the most important part of your essay.
You
If
answer
you-
this question?
Yeah.
Hope so.
If you write a thesis and your thesis statement doesn't match up by information to support it in the body.
But that's what the writer would do.
But if you don't support that thesis, then your whole essay is
No, but you
garbage.
might need that help to
Wait.
grab the attention, so they will pay attention to your lyrics.
But again, the thesis is what grabs. You're supposed to. The thesis is the first thing you read, and you follow that up through supporting in your essay. You brought this up. It's your fault. And then you again repeat your thesis and your conclusion to back up what you said in your body. So the thesis is the main material. So why is writing a hook okay? And writing verses.
Who's gonna stop you?
No, because they're different skill sets.
So where,
Writing a hook and writing a verse are different skill sets.
so what you're saying is choruses matter.
Yes.
Of course. Have you gotten any? Well, I'm pretty sure. How bad was, or to what degree was the pushback on lyrics matter from other people? Because I know you probably got it on social.
I got a little bit actually, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely-
On Facebook, I don't know if you guys have ever seen these review, live review.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, every once in a blue moon, just I pop my head in and see what's going on. I submit a song,
Yeah.
play it, and just see what the room's feedback is. And I remember, one of the moderators of one of these things saw the title, and the title, like right off the bat, before you even push play, he was already kind of put off by it, like the lyrics and that. So you finally push play, the first couple of bars, you already kind of got the gist of where I was going with it, and he felt attacked, and he was a younger guy.
Yeah.
He didn't want to play it anymore, so he basically cut it off and moved on. He gave his little spiel about how irrelevant my thoughts were because kids nowadays don't really check for that stuff. So it is what it is. It's it's a different age, different time, and people different things mean different things mean different things to people nowadays. So you just take the good with the bad and keep it moving.
Was he an artist himself?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. Probably just one of these guys that uses this platform to bring viewers to his page. So.
Do you feel pressure with that title? So every time you drop a verse, you have to make sure lyrics is lyrics.
I don't think so. Like it's just sort of
It's just
who
part
I
of
am.
what
It's
you
just
do,
part of
yeah.
who I am and what I do. So just sort of almost like a catchphrase that I stand by.
Right.
So
Let's put that question to everybody here. Do you feel that pressure? Do you
I always feel
ever?
pressure whenever I write. I feel pressure.
But do you feel like that needs to be a thing that you kind of?
I remember there was a point where I always felt like I have to make sure like everything I spit is it has to be a punchline. And then I kind of got over that.
But I mean, like everyone has their own, kind of definition of, what makes lyrics like matter or what makes them important. And for some people, it is punchlines. Some people might just be content.
Actually, like nowadays, I can catch myself. I'll write a song and I'm like, this is so generic. I have to actually make it sound like something. So I'll rewrite the whole thing into something that's like personal experience where it tells a story instead of just like the generic, this, that, like.
Yeah. Whenever you write that generic kind of thing, you're like, okay, it's like it works, it fits. It's like anyone else could have done this, and you know what I mean. But
Exactly.
do you feel that
Pressure from where?
from yourself?
From yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
Scrap a lot of shit.
probably too much.
Way too much.
How about yourself?
I was there at one point. I'm over it. Whatever you get.
You said it in past tense.
I was over the pressure of having to make sure everything had, certain content, certain messages, certain whatever. It's not fun.
Actually, was the pressure with this? Does it come from really yourself, or is it where you're trying to
Is it
cater to a certain
projecting-
crowd, a certain whatever?
It's myself.
Mine is the image I make, right?
Yeah.
So it's like this character is this image. Spitting anything else, which is more natural than this character, is a fly,
Right.
right? So
Flag.
See what he did right there?
I'm definitely.
I'm the John Stockton.
Oh, so were you always at this point where, from when you started writing, lyrics matter? Did you ever reach a point where you're like, with the sound changing, did you ever catch yourself like, maybe I should do some little something that sounds this way, or you were just always like, the more the sound was changing that way, you're like, I gotta keep pushing these lyrics because the lyrics are going away now.
I think that for me, the lyrics always kind of stayed in like I said, stayed in the lane that I guess I carved for myself, if you want to say that.
right.
But as far as like the sound of the beats and doing things with the hooks, that I think I evolved a little bit over the past decade or so.
Does the fact that lyrics maybe don't matter as much to some people, does that reinforce it for you? That, yes, I need to make sure that they do,
Yes.
as opposed to maybe a different time, not so long ago when maybe it was more common for people to be more lyrical. So now you feel yes that lyrics don't seem to matter to a lot of people, so you're going to show people that they do.
You know what? I don't think I overthink
Yeah,
it
okay.
to that point. I think I just try to do me and kind of do what I feel and just hope that there's enough people out there that feel the same way.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm really changing my sound to cater to an audience or reach another audience. I just do me and try to find as many like-minded people as I can.
Well, cheers to that.
So what was the shot to? Like-minded people.
Like-minded people.
Cheers.
Here we go.
So you had Righteous said peace to S. Flacco said Yaga shots up.
What up?
Yeah.
How old were you when you wrote your first rap? And do you remember it?
16. It was 16.
It was a 16?
Yeah.
Was it a 16?
16
No,
on
no,
16.
no. Back then, I used to write like 48s. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I just wrote to
The page was
I
like,
felt like it was time to stop. So no structure, it was just straight, just as far as I said.
What was the process to getting to that structure? Because I've heard other MCs just say they would go to the studio and just spit, and then someone else had to help them structure it. Was it on your own? Did somebody help you?
For the very first one?
No, once you started.
Oh,
getting
once
it
it started.
At the start.
I think the very first like studio recording, I just almost tried to one take it. Like I thought you had to do the chorus, same take.
everything.
Yeah.
And I was inexperienced, so it was a bit of learning along the way. But yeah, I thought I had to one take it.
I think a lot of people feel that.
No.
Yeah.
Do you want to take it now though?
No,
Oh, okay.
Does it matter?
no, I don't think.
But they let some people let the spit. A lot of people let the spit that they they get to put out this song in one take.
I've been in a studio where an artist felt that pressure, like he felt like he was letting people down if he didn't.
Right.
Some people do.
As long as I can do one take it live.
Yeah.
That's
where it counts,
that's-
right?
that's-
Well, and it's like recording is almost the first rehearsal and practice.
Right.
Yeah.
of getting there.
Yeah.
Who were some of your influences when you first started writing?
Tribe, Wu-Tang, KRS-One, EPMD,
Yeah.
De La.
Was it anyone specific that made you like go, what, I want to rap to like, right now? Or just hearing the vibe of the music itself?
I think it was probably ARS one.
Yeah.
It's right around like the Stop the Violence movement era.
Yeah.
Self-destruction, that period of time is, that's what had me kind of gravitating towards the political conscious vibe.
Oh, actually, I want to go back to the question. Now that you say stop violence, where do you put MC Light in the list of greatest MCs?
She is a great because of, I guess, what she brought to the game as far as, influence for in the early goings.
Lyrics?
Eh,
Okay.
okay. I mean, she definitely has some classics, but
I'm just asking because LO wrote her verse on that one. That was it.
I did hear that she had help.
Shit.
They all had
wrote
help,
it.
though.
They all had
That's
help.
the
Did
show.
it break your heart the first time you heard somebody you thought wrote their own rhyme? Did
Yes,
and who was it?
it was the boss, female MC.
Yeah.
Oh, well, she was on Death, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. She was
She was
Shorty?
super gangster.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
Found
I
out
remember
this
that.
was.
I remember that.
I mean, great album, loved it. Kill used to, rinse that album in high school, but then found out years after the fact that
Isn't that like
It wasn't
how? Isn't that how her whole thing went down? They heard that she wasn't really real. They're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
her own image, her everything.
And then I think it was like an interview where she actually admitted it. in an interview.
Was it-
Did she say, "Can I give this away back now"? I love seeing that. I don't know what it is, but
Now, you mentioned a few classic groups with multiple members. What's your favorite MC? Wu-Tang?
Favorite out of Wu-Tang? I'm gonna say Ghost.
De La.
De La?
De La, it's gonna have to be Austin.
Tribe.
That one wasn't even really close.
That's kind of cool.
No, rest in peace, Fife, man. He brought something to the table, but I mean, Q-Tip carried the group. Let's be real.
But they wouldn't be tried without.
No.
Right?
Alright, you win that one. I have no complaints with that.
So current day, who do you fuck with? Who do you like? Is there anyone that you?
I like Elzai. That's
Okay.
like my top guy right now. Or been my top guy for a long time. That's Ace. That's another one of my favorites.
You said right now, bro.
You know.
Yeah.
They're still doing
Okay.
work. Go.
Okay. Well then, let me phrase.
Are there any guilty
What
pleasures?
current
Like,
newer artists?
whereas the newer artists, they're not lyrical. I don't even want to say super. They're not even lyrical, but they have a vibe that you're like, you know what?
They got you. Like you wouldn't change them if they came on the radio, right? Or switched up in your Spotify. Yeah, so we do.
I just learned the
Shots.
baby actually tries to rap.
The baby's dope.
The baby's
I
not
heard
that
the
bad.
baby actually really tries to rap.
I
I was
heard
like, you know what?
YBN Cordae's pretty good.
Yes, him. Yes.
I heard it.
don't-
I haven't checked this out yet, but I heard everybody's seen
Why?
YBN Cordae.
I don't mind him.
Isn't he? He's not. I thought he was like going away or something.
No, that's why he has.
No, there's a bunch of them. It's kind of like ASAP,
No.
Yeah, NBA.
YBN. There's different.
Yeah,
What
that's
do you think of the NBA?
NBA one. He's one. He's one of them.
Oh, yeah, boy. Anyways,
But that's what the thing is now. After ASAP gang, everyone's ASAP whatever.
yeah.
Or YBN.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was different ones.
I'm not NBA.
So that's the only one.
That's
I pretty much like, yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
you fuck with that comes
Alright.
around like.
So with your kids, do they still have the same taste of music, of what you like, or
A little bit of, well, they like my stuff.
right?
Is that because daddy
But
or
they listen to the stuff that comes on the radio free. Totally.
Are they critical of people without lyrics?
Yeah, to some
Yeah.
extent, yeah. Like I think they understand, the formula and what works and
Yeah.
raise a child,
But-
the way
they
you
should
grow.
grow up, and
But,
they'll never
I mean,
depart from it.
I don't try to, take that away from them.
Right.
That's what they gravitate to. That's their era. So, but I mean, I think they appreciate people using lyrics because of my example. They listen to what I listen to, and they listen to what they listen to.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We can't get mad at kids for like what they like,
Right.
and not understanding or appreciating it, right? Because I mean, it was the same when we
Because
were.
every generation,
Like,
every generation.
I've actually tried to take that whole standpoint. Like, I think it's Minnesota. Like Little Wayne's like, I don't like it really anyway.
Yeah.
Out of this music game right now. But he listens, like he hears it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't listen to it. He's like, I don't listen to
He
it.
said he
I-
listened
yeah.
to Tech Nine.
No,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like, but he's
that's
like,
the only other rapper.
right, but he's like, he doesn't listen to these new kids, these new
Yeah.
rappers.
Which is weird.
No, but he doesn't listen to them. So he's like, when his era, our era, whatever, is lyrics. So lyrics were important. So he's listening to the lyrics.
No, I get that.
Right?
But,
But now he's only hearing what the music. He's like, oh, that's cool. Like they can rock.
no, I say
It's
it's
a
weird
vibe.
because
Yeah.
he does a lot of feature work. Maybe not now specifically,
Yeah.
but he's
Yeah.
historically he's
So
always
he's
done.
the-
He's
he's
always
the most-
he's always kept up with the most current artists,
Right.
and they haven't
Because
been the
people
most
are
current
hitting him
things.
up, right? He's not gonna say no. Like thing, like, was it Tiger had a Fabulous said called him when he's just getting into the game. They charge him $100,000 for a feature, right? Like 3-4 bottles of Cristal, whatever. Lil Wayne came in, spit his verse in 15 minutes, grabbed a Cristal and left. He didn't care. Like, I'm sure he doesn't remember the song afterwards. He doesn't remember his own words, he said.
Yeah.
So he didn't care.
He's a different type of
He
artist.
is,
I was watching Chance the Rapper on Hot Ones. He was talking about how when they were in the studio, like he just said Wayne's process was different. Like he just kind of stood in the corner. He like motioned to the engineer. He'd leave the room, come back,
Right.
and then he's ready. You know, Biggie was kind of like that. He would just sit in the corner. There could be like a whole bunch of people. Like I think it was Premiere or someone said they're just watching him. Like he doesn't look like he's doing anything. And then he just says, "Hey, I'm ready."
That was I believe that's that Premier story where he's like, that's when he realized that Biggie just raps about everything that's actually going on around him. And in the verse, Biggie was talking about the guys in the bathroom fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Premier's like, what is this guy talking about? He's just like, whatever. And then he went to the washroom. He went to the bathroom. He saw it. He's like, yo, he's rapping about everything. And then he was going back. He's like, everything that Biggie was saying. He was like, it's what's going on right now. He's like, that's crazy.
But I mean, Wayne's process too was he would go in, record a bar, cut it,
Yeah.
record the next bar.
Some
Because
people
it
like
was
that.
that form of freestyle.
Because he did his what?
It's all right.
He had his that one song that's however long, I can't remember. Right? Where it was just him going through pages.
The next one is
of
that bridge
notebook.
door.
He was
Right.
getting rid of everything.
And then once he got rid of all those verses, he just threw the book out and he never wrote down anything like that again. Right? It's like, what's your process? You said you went in there, everything was, I tried to do it all in one take. Verses, hooks, everything one take. What's your process now?
More verses, and I do the choruses after, and I do the punches and the ad-libs and everything else.
So like, do you sit in the corner?
No,
Wait.
I come to the studio already, everything written already.
Do
Everything
you
ready to
do you have anybody that you like send tracks to for feedback, or you're your own judge, you're your own critic, you know
Yeah.
what you want?
Yeah, I kind of do it my way and send it to the producer or whoever I'm collaborating with. And that's it. You get what you get.
All right. So what's his next shot to?
Trusting the process.
Trust in the process.
You haven't been spinning at all, right? Yeah, been spinning as a DJ.
So get into that pen to page for that song. We're looking for melodies first. What do you
Hold on. Is it still pen and paper? Is it a phone or is it a mix of both?
Phone, laptop.
You said that with a heavy sigh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think
Do you feel the way about that?
Years ago, I never wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the pen to paper purist forever.
I feel that.
And
kill the
Just-
trees, man?
technology came and made things so convenient. I could just put headphones on, I had my phone,
Yo.
and I just
Artists are some of the biggest Giant Killer's the world.
Yeah.
You love it.
Nothing like being like, I don't like that.
I don't like that shit.
Nah, just push
And it's
the
a-
backspace.
And the joke is, it's the first line on the first page. And it's like, yo, you write something, you looking at it like it's hot, and you look at it like, fuck that thing.
The worst thing is when you delete too much and it goes too fast.
Oh,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
catch back up?
No. You just end up deleting stuff you
Yeah,
shouldn't have because
exactly.
you're holding the button.
I got
Undo button.
I got a chalkboard in my room that I roll out on. It's on wheels, and that's what I use. I refuse to use my phone.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah, so is it, since you
yeah.
stepped on my question, is it like a melody first that you're looking for? Is it an idea or a concept for the song? Like, how do you get to that particular song?
And you write to a beat.
Yeah.
Right to a beat typically depends on the sample and the beat. Sometimes even the beat title. Producers are
Yeah.
interesting.
Sure,
They'll
sure.
label their
Weird.
beats, these weird names. Sometimes they work, and I just feed off of that.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's either the title of the beat or
Because that's the vibe that they caught when you're
Right.
making it. So it's,
Where do you hit first?
But like some of these beats are like sour chicken flipped in ice cream. Like,
No,
Because
you
some
gotta
of the-
be like that.
No, but some of them label it before they even start.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
sure.
like my friend would label some weird shit, and I'm like, what does that even mean, bro? He's like,
I used to make beats. I know what it's like. I do it too.
So I usually use that as the idea to figure out
yeah, what's going on?
how to approach it.
What's the most difficult song? Whether it's technically or personally.
Interesting. So
That's a good question.
Like even that saxophone.
you go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know.
Was there okay? What's the longest it's taken you to write?
Honest.
I still wanted to go back to that.
Yeah.
Questions.
Like it's rare that I can sit down and write a song from start to finish in an hour or even a day. It's usually a piece here, a few bars here. So 2 weeks, 3 weeks,
Right.
depending on what's going on in my life. If I'm busy and I don't have time to sit down and
Do you finish things, or do you have a shit ton of shit or something?
unfinished.
That's the artist though.
Yeah.
Not just artists. Like there's a lot unfinished shit.
Yeah, there's someone said the other day that Lil Wayne actually admitted to never finishing any of the songs. So all his songs to him are unfinished.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's like Tupac. Tupac would just go in and he would just spit the rhyme and have the engineer do everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, you just be like, you got
Because
rappers here, let
It
us
was always
rap.
bothered. Like,
Then
let
you
us just
figure that shit
rap,
out later.
then you do the stuff later. Why would I sit here while you guys make?
He really was in a race against us.
Yeah.
Like he would
And
he would there'd be people he would want on the song. Like guys like the Outlaws.
Yeah.
And if they didn't finish when he finished, they didn't make the cut.
Pretty
Like,
much first person. First person either verse in, they're on the track.
Like Wu-Tang. That the best verse to state.
Or even worse than Wu-Tang. RZA edited their verses. He would take lines out.
Wow.
Seriously?
He said Method Man would be pissed off because he would take the last lyric out. He said, "No, I don't like that." And Method Man would get pissed off, but he would go back and he'd either redo it or do something else. Jizzle was older than him in the game for him, but because he was the leader, he trusted him.
Yeah.
But yeah, RZA was cutting people's lines. He says, "I don't like that one. I don't like that one. We do that. Go back to the phone."
On the end, you're probably right. On the end there.
Look how many classics they have.
That legacy, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe, end of the day.
It's a trust thing, I guess.
It is a trust thing. Like how long have you working with this engineer?
Almost 10 years ago.
How many engineers did you find before this engineer?
Probably 2 others.
And you
They were just like one-offs. Once I found this guy and did another track, 2, 3, built a rapport, and I just decided to stick with it.
Yeah.
So shout out to DJ Merciless.
Oh, Merciless. Yes.
That's the dude, man.
That makes sense. Yeah.
This is dope. I was talking about this with somebody else. I can't remember who it was. But we're talking about collaborations and people who would do a song with somebody and they'd get a verse. And they're not really happy with it. And they have to send it back, say, hey, not really feeling it. Can you give me another one? Or
That's tough.
Or- have you ever had to do that?
Never had to do that. No.
Never had to or never did.
That's actually not what it's
No,
called.
it's like last
Never had to do that. Knock on wood.
Has anybody had to do that? You
Should we do a verse? Me?
Send somebody tell somebody they don't like their verse to redo it.
I didn't tell them. They chose to do it. Well, they
But
chose
have
to
you
do it.
ever had to or wanted to?
I've taken verses off. I replaced them with other people.
How did you tell them?
We still haven't. We're not there yet.
Sometimes we'll hear about
The album hasn't dropped yet.
No, listen.
Sometimes we'll hear about it.
Like I did that. I did
Yeah,
that.
sometimes you don't hear about it. It's like, in the end, I'm gonna tell them, but in the end, it just didn't fit. Like, they just really didn't fit. And as much as they think they did, come on. You know what I mean? I'm always known as like the nice guy that lets everything go. And honestly, actually, Jordel's the engineer of it. He was really one like, yo, this verse gotta go, bro. I was like, why? I'm like, but he gave me the verse. He's like, nah, man, this doesn't fit. And I'm like, I know it didn't fit, but I'm just,
You needed that confirmation.
yeah. So I was like, cool. But
Well,
I
that's
replaced
why I
it.
told you, I was like, you come back, you add him with a compliment. It was really dope, it just didn't really work for this song.
It just didn't fit.
I'm gonna hold on to it though and try to fit it somewhere else.
The compliment sandwich. The compliment critique. Compliment.
You went wrong with that compliment. You don't give them something that you might do later. You just kind of, it was really good, it just didn't work. Stop it. Don't give them no extra.
No.
They're gonna keep coming back.
because
They're
then
gonna
you're
keep coming
saying
back to you.
You're saving everybody else from having to hear it. Like, I'm gonna just hold it until, maybe I'll find something. Nobody has to hear that shit.
Listen, man, you might be canceling a hit. You know how this generation sucks at picking good music? You might be canceling a hit, bro.
That is a blanket statement.
This generation. You talk about
Are you talking about
those people?
You people.
You people don't wear poppies.
You people who
We
don't,
didn't move fast enough, but we should
I'm
have
talking
done
about
a song
you
about
people.
Ah,
We
man.
really should.
I seriously was considering my next album.
it's not that-
You people
It's still
featuring Shot Club? Song
Let's
called
do
You
it.
People featuring Shot Club? That
We
sounds
can have
great.
It could be us people.
Yeah. Just people.
Yes.
And every time Mo says you people, it's a bleep. It's bleep stuff.
What do you mean, you people?
Like a, what's it called? Like a juvenile version. It always ends with you people or whatever word. End of that. Or,
What's the next generation? What's after millennials? What's that called?
the Z generation Z.
Is that what it is?
After millennials, I think it's Generation W. It's only getting worse, people. It's only getting worse.
Now you've got a full plate. You got a lot to manage. You're a family man, and you got career, you got music. What's the weekly balance like? What's the schedule like? If you're in album mode, you're in promo mode, and
Well, right now, it's promo.
for what?
Promo.
What are you promoting?
Promoting the newest album. That is
Which
called Social Media. Volume 1.
Media.
Inspired by
Now-
my timeline.
Is it meatier or is it meteor?
Hey!
Meteor.
Sorry, David.
Meatier than volume 2? Volume 2 gonna be trimmed down?
We really should have counted how many shots we had.
How many freezes have you had?
So promo mode right now for Social Meteor. Volume 1.
Will volume 2 beat Meteor 1?
I always try to make each release better than the last. So.
Hey, Gallagher.
To the new album, social media.
Social Meteor.
Meteor.
Cheers.
Here we go.
So what does the week consist of when it's that hectic?
Well, I gotta take care of, stuff first, family stuff first. do the 9 to 5 thing, come home, help the kids with the homework, spend time with wifey, and
You addressed on the album before that. Date Night, great song.
cheers. And yeah, after everybody's gone to sleep, and I'm still have energy, I go downstairs and put music.
No, actually, it goes back to the social media. So it's inspired by your timeline. In what way?
It's everything that I was seeing, good, bad, and indifferent.
What did you cover throughout the album? Which parts of it?
Trolling, bigotry, spamming,
Those people.
judgmentalness,
Those
for
people.
lack of a better word.
Some positive stuff in there? Or?
Now, come on now. When is the last time you've seen some positivity on social media?
I don't know, I saw a Coke drive.
Touche.
I mean, there's good aspects of social media. I touch on some of that in one of the songs called "Listen." Third verse highlights that. You know,
Whoa. We need to get to that. That's interesting. Third verse.
Verse, yeah.
Yes.
We still doing third verses?
Yes.
Oh,
Remember,
You see
remember
that?
Red
You
dropped
see
a
that?
song that had a third verse. Who else dropped a song? Ice-T dropped a song. Ice-T dropped a song.
I
Third
would
verse.
hope.
Icy drops his
Ice-T.
thumb.
Third verses are becoming
Third verses matter?
They matter.
Hey.
How often? How often is it? Do you feel like you need to in the song, or is it like, is it a routine thing? Like you're so wired to it.
Yeah.
Like I feel weird not doing the third verse,
Yeah.
me personally. But how do you feel when you get to the end of the second? Are you like, do I need to say more? Or do I?
It depends on if I feel like I've covered everything I wanted to talk about.
Especially as a solo artist.
Right.
To have 3
Is-
verses. Like,
Right.
in a group, like, because we're working on the New Family project, and I mean, there's 3 of us, so most tracks are going to end up having a third verse, but even on some of the songs with 2 of us, we like, just stop it at 2 then, because, like, sometimes 3 is a lot. I mean, the attention span now of
Some verses
a
are
few people is
it's fucking crazy
Yeah.
because some verses aren't even 16s anymore.
I switch it up.
But a lot of those people love 12-bar verses now. So it's shorter.
tell
12,
Tech,
yeah,
tell Tech
12,
that. He's
yes.
40 bars.
I've heard those songs where it's like 10 for the hook, 12 for the verses, and they only have two verses. And like,
I remember when EPMD came back to business. Unfinished business. 97. But I noticed that it's a 2-man group, but they would do 2 verses. And I just felt it was a little weird at the time, but now it's like you don't even get certain structures
now
that
you
we
can
would
want
think was normal. It's
Right.
now like,
yeah, you don't get none
Well,
of that.
Lil Pump did like a 30-second song,
yeah,
you know, with the strategy to get more streams on Spotify.
that's the thing. It's like 2-minute songs are like, you know,
Yeah.
But I mean, you gave the positive, one positive subject matter on your album, the third verse in some track. It's a little
he said it so casually that it just like hit me like,
Yeah,
I guess if you break it down like that, I suppose that was probably the one bright spot. Yes.
Wow.
So, you know-
social media is.
there is some
There's a
positive,
lot of
right?
negativity on social
Of
media.
course.
Yes, there is.
but it's the reason why I don't like going on Facebook.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't let that discourage me. Most of the time, I find it as comedy.
Yeah.
It's comedy.
Well, and you can't let it. You people have the power.
Yeah.
Like
No,
it's up
not
to you,
take
it's up
away.
to you to what you consume. Like,
Right.
people-
And I'm not letting
it's
those people tell me what to consume.
It's a lot though. Like when you just get on your stream and you're just going down, it's just
Listen, man, it's your street.
But
not
isn't it an
theirs.
algorithm though? Isn't there an algorithm that like it pushes what you take interest in?
not
No,
necessarily.
it pushes what those people want you to take interest.
No,
in.
because
those people.
I
are
found
gonna
that when it was like the time when Donald Trump really came through, whatever, and I was pushing, this is racist or they're killing this. My thing was full of that. That's all it was. To a point where I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm mad every day.
But the
So you
algorithm.
know what? I'm gonna start taking those nice things, those love, like the soldiers coming back to see their kids, stuff like that. I started sharing those,
Yeah.
and then all of a
'Cause
sudden,
the
my whole
algorithm
thing started
will-
changing to
Yeah,
more of that.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
So
what
it's
you
like-
click on.
Yeah. So most times when it comes to Facebook, what you're seeing is what you're clicking on. It's making you react.
Do you not have a song called Fake News?
Fake news, no. I missed that one.
You should actually do
Or
that.
algorithm?
Well,
This is volume 2.
you go bass and I'll go rhythm. Actually, I can do it too. I can do it too.
That was very good. Stumped MO for a second.
I had to think about it. It's like, bass.
What platform do you find the feedback is most productive?
Facebook.
Do you use the other ones like Instagram,
Yeah, I use Instagram.
So
Twitter,
you're big on TikTok.
YouTube, TikTok?
I've been on yet, but yeah, most of my time is Facebook. Instagram is probably second. Twitter, I haven't quite figured that one out yet.
Right.
Yeah, so about it.
It's weird because it's really like when it
It's
comes to
huge
like
for some
Americans,
people.
when I see like Americans using it, it's crazy. They love it. But when you go on it, it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like nothing.
It really
Why
might be a
limit
space.
yourself to characters when you can have visuals, videos?
But you can add all that stuff to Twitter, to links, whatever.
you
But
can.
the thing is,
I think that's the culture.
they share a lot more on Twitter than they do anywhere else. So your shit starts to spread faster on Twitter.
Speaking of which, Ari Lennox, Dreamville, familiar with this?
I've heard the name.
Now she was
Dreamville
nominated.
is dope. Do you love Dreamville? Do you listen to Dreamville? It's dope.
She was nominated for a Soul Train Award, and she lost to Lizzo. And American Twitter, she went
Black
off.
Twitter,
She went off on a rant, and
I put a cockroach with it.
she went off, and then she said she quit. I guess
Oh, yeah.
the whole, she just didn't like the feedback. She expected Soul Train, that award specifically. All the other awards she didn't really care for, but that one specifically. Is there an award show or awards that you care about? Does it mean anything, or are you just in it for more the feedback?
Probably the feedback more so than anything else. I did apply my last album for to Junos. Not that I figured I stood a chance of winning, but it's more just exposing it to
Yeah.
influencers who may have, you never know who's listening. So I mean, that's what I see. I see more as just trying to get it out in front of a bigger audience. Not so much more, but I think I can compete with the Victoria Wayneses of the world. So.
You could just remix a 90s song.
Listen, man, I'm gonna say that takes some talent the way he's doing it. Because this is not parodying that song like Weird Al did.
And it's not just redoing it.
He's not really just doing the same beat, whatever. They flip the fuck out of all these songs.
They're not redoing the same beat. They're
No.
sampling the beat.
They sound listen,
Yeah,
but a lot of
yeah,
people do
but
it. But
they're
the way
recreating-
they flip the songs, and then on top of that, you have the same artist come back on that
Yeah.
song with you and flip their shit too.
So that's respect though, right there. That they trust you to reimagine their song.
Yeah.
So is this a free mixtape or is it actually on?
No, it's a
Spotify?
trick tape.
Is it on Spotify?
It's on Spotify. It's on
It's on
Audio Mac. It's on.
So
iTunes.
he has all the permission.
Yeah,
That's what I'm looking for.
yeah, it's on iTunes. Everything.
Also, those artists probably will enjoy the boosts.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah.
Their songs.
Yes.
So,
So he's capturing two different generations right now.
Is he like the new age Diddy? Is he Diddying these
No,
songs?
no.
Diddy caught a lot of flack back in the day.
For
I
sure.
mean,
But Diddy
I would
wasn't-
say
I don't know if
yes.
that's
That
not-
is.
I would say yes.
I don't know
I would
if
say
that's-
yes. He is Diddy.
What do you mean? He's
Diddy used to
Diddy-
take
Diddy-
hits from the
Diddy-
80s,
fine.
right? But this is what he's doing now. So he's taking hits from
But Diddy
2000s.
wasn't talented.
He's taking hits
He
from the
wasn't-
80s.
Yeah, okay.
But do it sound so
It's
crazy?
Yeah. I guess.
You don't like me stepping on your name.
This is my face.
Just staying in your own Tory lane.
This is
Stay
staying in your own
Tory
Tory
lane.
lane.
Shout out to the porn star. Victoria Lane.
Oh, there is a porn star named Tory Lane.
Yeah, I'll see you on the dark web. Here we go.
Just you.
So you got some shows coming up? Any shows coming up?
I got a show coming up next Friday
Where is that?
at Smiling Buddha.
Okay, careful.
How
Ah.
long is Buddha small?
That was one time.
I know.
For a while, I guess.
This one
It's Buddha. Why wouldn't he be smiling?
Alright.
So some good people will be on that bill. Mr. Cheza will be on that bill.
I am on the bill.
Who's DJ?
Mr. DJ Bylon.
Oh,
Tunes. Faith Walker will be performing.
Yes, yes.
Most
Righteous.
Shout out to Righteous.
Righteous, Most Spent. The July Soul Band will also be rocking as well. So it should be a good time.
Because you have a lot of experience with shows. You know, we've seen each other at a lot of shows. We've just
From
randomly
time,
been on shows together.
Actually, first time when I saw him, he was the guy that looked like Shaka. That's
Oh,
how everybody
my
used to
gosh.
describe him.
I've
It was
been
like,
hearing
oh,
that since
it was
high school.
The guy looked like Shaka. He's dope. Everybody, yo, look, the guy looked like Shaka. I don't know his name.
I used to always call him the Canadian fucking common though.
Oh, wow.
I used to always say that at shows. I was
Can you break dance?
No.
That's actually
The way you said that,
That's
you
actually,
tried.
that's actually a good question. Was rhyming the only thing you started with?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you try to dabble in anything else?
I tried
Break dance?
producing. I
What
just
was your
didn't-
producer name?
No, I didn't have a name. I just tried to do it. Tried to
What's
make
your tag?
beats. And I just didn't have the patience for it.
Spray painting? Graffiti art?
Graffiti, no.
The artist at all,
I
like,
tried
drawing.
blending and I just was no good at it.
So you still haven't tried to do that with that windmill?
Headspin, no. Back,
Windmill rock?
Worm.
Worm, yes. As I got older, it started to hurt a little bit.
It's more like a snake. It's just
No, Axl Rose.
like,
Axl Rose on the floor.
But yeah, no, I never did the worm. I was always paranoid. Like, I'm jumping like head first. They hit my chest first.
I want to learn how to.
I'm not sure if I can do that.
I
I've always wanted to,
I want
but-
to be able to take like time off,
And do what?
Learn breakdance.
like
I used
dedicate.
to be able to up rock and do like
now
windmills
you want
and
to do
shit.
that?
What happened?
I stopped doing it, and when you stop doing certain things, your upper body strength goes. That's all core strength and upper body.
It's different though. You're in the gym.
And you.
But youth and core strength. I was doing head spins and all that shit, windmills. But when you stop doing it and you just start playing football and whatever, and like my body's now shaking different times, you know.
I wonder if today's generation has a standard as to what breaking into the culture is, because I asked that because like speaking to someone like Spade, where he's like, when he started, it was everything. Like, try to get into DJing, try to break,
Try to do this, yeah.
tried as a graph writer, tried as an MC. I wonder if now there's like, you know, this is what I do, or this is what I do to break.
We should get him on the show to talk about that stuff.
Sure.
First of all,
Did you just ask me that?
is graphic design the new graph writer? Because a lot of artists are graphic designers. Is that like the new graph writer now?
Kind of out of necessity.
Or even tattoo artists.
Huh? Or even tattoo artists? Is that
There's
the
a
new
lot
graph
of
writer?
graph artists that I know went to tattoo.
I mean, like, what considers, like, I know breaking will be breaking, but would they say someone's like a dancer if they just make them a stupid, like, dance and shit?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't really know the terminology of what, like, having a meme accompany your song or having a challenge.
Right.
Like, do they all try it? Is what I want to know. I want to know if you're 16 years old, 17, you got a computer, or just off your phone,
Right.
you're making music. What constitutes breaking into it?
The industry.
Or is it just
Well,
doing?
they're not even
Just
considering any things that we are. So yeah, they're thinking about those things. That is breaking. That's the current landscape. That's what matters.
Here's views.
Views,
Yeah.
YouTube,
If you hit a certain amount of views,
podcasts, all this stuff.
broke in.
Yeah.
So has the pillars of hip hop changed for this generation?
I think in season 5 we're gonna have to really start like building. because like we don't know. Like today we've spoken about what used to be sins in hip hop. Someone finding out you didn't write that rhyme by yourself.
Right.
Like we've had this discussion because we all have similar experiences, but I think we're really getting into it in season 5.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all next.
We'll have some of you people.
We'll have some of you
Sure.
people on the show.
I don't know, man. I don't know about those people. You people, maybe. Those people.
Well, this is a good question. How often do you talk to your kids about music? Whether it's your experience or theirs.
A few times a week. Yeah. Just whenever they're on the computer or either YouTube watching whatever it
Do
is.
you
Ask
do you
questions.
monitor their screen time?
A little bit, yeah.
Now, as we're setting up, I'm like, oh, there's new kind of parental controls to us uploading our video, and I'm like, oh fucking time, because I was looking for
So as
ways of blocking my son from watching certain channels.
last
Right.
week you told your kids, you're like, yeah, you can watch me on the Shot Club next week, and now no. They got blocked.
He's watching different videos from this one. I can't remember it's from one YouTuber
Okay.
out
PewDiePie?
PewDiePie,
Very controversial.
right? And he does
that like
nothing
Paw
like the
Patrol?
videos he makes
Oh,
and
it's like a
shares
Oh, okay.
is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. And my son's always telling me about his PewDiePie. I'm like, "Luther, stop watching that shit, right? He's already made his money off of being an idiot, right? He doesn't get to make you an idiot, right?
I don't
Think
let
you're
Harley
what?
watch any of that shit.
Right?
Well, first of all, I don't appreciate you guys' language. But off of that, did your parents ever hear something that you played and they didn't like it? And in turn, do you hear anything from your kids that you're like, hey,
Your parents never heard anything that you
Nothing?
played and said, "What are you listening to? Turn that off."
No, because they didn't understand it.
So you didn't hear like a cuss word somewhere. We're like, "Yo."
Two West African parents, they didn't understand.
Oh, so you say you got off
I got off.
because of ignorance?
They didn't understand the code.
so if they're in blouse and
Okay.
skirts though, you'd be
No West African.
Yeah.
So
I was like,
They would still be like,
they're like, what?
they shouldn't close. Like,
What is that?
I mean, other than obvious ones like the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Right.
They wouldn't catch,
Anything else.
slang. They wouldn't catch.
So even
That was the point, though.
Okay.
I remember my stepmother heard I was playing Nothing But a G Thing, and she was just like, "What the fuck is this?" oh yeah. She had no problem. But I was like 12 years old, and so she was just like. my dad was like oblivious, but she was just like, "What?"
so you never had any.
So she's-
with
I
your
never had-
kids? With your kids though.
Kids, it's more visuals, more videos. Video
Okay, that's true. Nowadays it is more.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they hear some of the language that they hear at school. So
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
censorship is like it's just a waste of energy. It's more like what are they physically watching?
I've had a couple videos where mom was like, turn it off.
Oh, the rap
videos.
videos.
No, that's,
That you had recently.
yeah.
Well, I true say, there's some stuff I still can't watch or listen to on my mom.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
playing anything
the way it
about my
works.
mom.
Yeah, that's that was broken too.
Bro!
Yo,
DJ Bylon right now.
What's the common saying? You haven't been keeping up.
Well, Flacco wants to know what S rates Weezy's lyrical content out of 10.
I don't listen
which
to the guy.
which
no.
Weezy.
I don't listen to
There's
I
a
don't
lot of
listen to
Weezy.
it, so I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm biased.
Would it? It'd be off of the cover of the
Off
book.
of like one or two songs that I've heard.
So, give it.
Oh, how do you keep away from hearing those songs? Because most there was
It's everywhere.
but
You can tune stuff out. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Hey!
It's that
yeah,
time.
so that's
You know what I'm
Talking about, don't make me smell like
Now, it is tradition around. Oh, sorry. No, Stephanie,
Stephanie,
Tory Lanez.
everybody's toasting.
Everyone's toast
Let's take
today.
our first shot
You
first.
bought some-
First
You
shot.
bought some shoes that are way too big for him. He doesn't even realize it's Stephanie.
You size 12?
Sorry, I'm not. I'm number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
What do you think of current day KRS?
Teacher.
Did you see him?
Still doing it, man.
I saw a
Just
video
dropped
of
an
him.
album like a couple weeks ago.
I saw a video of him on stage. Big speech.
Yes.
What was your thoughts on the video?
He wasn't lying.
What was he speaking on?
It was more so.
Basically talking about New York radio that kind of turned back some New York artists.
Right.
So,
And it did.
Well, let's take the shot. I want to speak about that really quick before
All right.
we get into it.
Well, it's David's one.
We'll do that. Yeah.
Not
No, I'm
yours.
saying.
This was delicious, but it's so sweet. I can't
So,
compared
go
to
to-
wine, yeah. Compared to wine.
This is what's called our last drink rule, where we get our guests to drop a beautiful
Not even-
16. Now, I like to say, it doesn't have to be 16. You can get back into the old days, you know, when you were 16, writing just a page of lyrics, flipping that back and forth. All right, you can do anything you want.
If you want to give him the
Don't-
Beanie Siegel, DJ.
All I
100
want you to
bars.
do is, 1, don't give me those people's 12-bar verses. Okay. 2, give me either a Canadian freestyle, that you know, is completely off the dome, or you can give me an American freestyle, some shit that you know from before, and you're saying that it's hot now.
You see which one he's expecting, right?
let's do the American.
Now, do you want a beat though? Acapella? All right, DJ Bailout, please cut that shh.
All right, check it out. Hip hop, part entertainment, part education that spark. A generation of artists that get creative with heart. Create something from nothing that takes smarts. Fast forward, I'm guessing the innovation paid off. So distant is the gap between have and the have-nots. The haves still have more than the haves that have not. And supported this cash crop. I pay homage to the artists that started before me so that I could be a part of this artist spit that started in the South Bronx. Project Steps took me to a different world, no Kadeem Hardison. Once deemed a fad went 40 plus years farther than the non-believers who believed there really was no art in this. It was too hard for them. They didn't want the art to live till corporations saw the dollar signs and pushed for partnership. Corporate sponsorship. Down is how they watered it, slaughtered it, sucked the soul from out the hole to mass marketing.
Because lyrics.
Well then,
So who counted?
I didn't count.
it wasn't 12. That's all I know.
I was.
We're gonna go back. We're gonna go back and count the bars.
I was listening to.
When we pop that video, it's like-
the video, you're gonna see 1, 2.
Yeah, go back and count those bars.
But you're saying you did have something that I said. You
Yes,
can't talk until
yes.
you talk.
Yes. So Billboard did top 100 albums of the decade.
Oh yeah,
And the number 1 was Kanye. Dr.
Doctors and Fantasy.
Yeah. Kendrick's To Pimp a Butterfly was at number 5. Good Kid, Mad City is in there too.
Drake had an album, Take Care.
That's all fair.
Something like that.
Drake, Take Care is at 16.
16.
Yeah, but that pretty much, like, as far as hip hop, that's in.
What are the top? Oh, those.
20.
What would you say is your top 5 favorite albums?
This decade or all time?
All time.
You thought the other question was hard that you didn't answer.
Give you a top 5. I can give you 5 that I really like.
Or give me 5 of your most influential.
Okay, I get that. I'm gonna say Low End Theory. Okay. So this is in no particular order.
I like how people say that. Like they're waiting for the judgment.
Well, there's gonna be judgment. Once he starts naming stuff after this first album, there's gonna be judgments as to how this album didn't get past this one or how he even made the list. Yeah, you can go. Yeah, you're.
That's why I stay away from top 10 lists.
Top 10s and 5s?
That's one of my social media.
We need your
Stay
top
away from-
50 current artists.
So, all right, so lower and
Low End
Low End
Theory.
Theory.
Okay, I'm gonna say 36 Chambers.
Okay.
I have to put Illmatic in there. That's 3.
It's a no judgment zone.
We're judging you, sir.
Turn of the Boom Bap, KRS-One.
Okay.
He's staying right in that 92, 93 zone.
And I'm gonna say Lab Cap in California. By Farside.
Okay.
Wow.
That's all in a 2-year span.
That was the
I
only.
wasn't
That's
even thinking
all.
about that.
Oh, sorry, 3-year span.
Farside the only West Side. Wow.
As far as what more could we?
And that particular 2-year span
3
is 3 year.
Oh no, sorry. Word. Going there is not one.
Okay. Wow.
All right, going back to the show this Saturday.
Where's the show?
It's Saturday.
Next Friday.
Friday. Friday. I'll be there. But yes, on Friday, I'll be there.
Possibly.
But yes, obviously performing. So how do you approach your performances when it comes to this?
And I've seen this man perform. He
Just
is top notch.
just try to be me and just have fun. Just interact with the crowd, feed off the crowd energy, and just get that back.
So I was talking to an artist this weekend, and he was breaking down the way that he strategizes his performances, where he saw Travis Scott perform, and he's like, Travis Scott had a roller coaster. He's like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, how do I compete with a roller coaster? What do I do?
Right.
And then he came up with paper airplanes. He writes his name on the side, and as he performs, he throws it, and it has all his information. So people are just end up throwing paper airplanes back. He keeps going back and forth.
You know what I'm gonna start doing? Remember those things you go.
Get out
Oh, cootie catchers.
Pick a number between 1 and 5.
This is
I don't remember
every week for us.
I don't remember that.
They're cootie catchers.
I don't think you called me that in separate.
I don't remember. I don't remember them having a name.
But yeah. So in that vein, what was another thing? He said he had fire. It was like, I don't have fire. What can I do?
Like your
Do
favorite
that.
fire.
So in his head was like, I'll do cartwheels. Like just stuff that like grabbed their attention. But in the end, he like strategizes bit by bit. He said he watched D. Martin, and in between songs, D. Martin told a quick joke. Crowd reacted to him. He was like,
It sounds gimmicky as
so
hell.
yeah, but it is. But he's like, he's looking at it and he's strategizing to like, it's a performance. It's a whole entertainment thing. It's
Does
not
this artist's
just the
name
song.
start with a W?
So in that,
Is
there
start with it?
a strategy or it's just like, you know what? I picked these songs. I like these songs right now, and I want to perform.
Well, it depends on the audience. So
Yeah.
track selection heavily is influenced by who I anticipate my audience is going to be for that show. There's certain shows, it's just going to be straight, backpackers.
Right.
You got to pick certain songs. Others, it might be a more diverse crowd, so you don't want to put up the sleeve.
It's funny because that can backfire on you as well. But you always do have to take that into consideration.
Right.
You never, it's like you said, though. You never know who's listening.
Yeah.
Never know.
Exactly.
Never know who's listening. Well, we've arrived at the last shot.
What do you mean? There's still time tickets. What's going on in your life?
Sir, I'm giving him the time to promo before that goes off. I got a plan. And in promo, let me do what I do. Let me work.
Don't try to quote him. You caught him.
You've been trying to. Where can people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook same handle at HG Monster ES. HG Monster.
I got a
High
question that we've
definition.
never asked. What's a good intro S song that people can go listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes? All the streaming platforms. You can't find S spelled ES, but what is a intro song they should go check out? That
If they've never heard me
never
before,
heard you, but they want to.
Yeah. That's a very good question, sir.
aspire to inspire.
Okay. Spotify, all the other streaming services. I don't want to sit there and just list them all up. All the streaming services, ES.
I like
Yes.
audio man, but you gotta upload directly to that. That's what
It's like that fifth. AudioMac was that fifth was just the other option when I first heard of it.
That pitch still kicking around?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So anyways, sorry. Interruption.
No. I was creating the conversation to go.
Where do you rate Lauren in MCs? She's really good.
I wish you rap more.
I used to listen to Lauren Hill. Tap my feet.
What do you think about
She just put out a song, right?
I used to love her.
the talks
She
that
just
she
put
didn't
out a
write
song.
her own shit?
What was that?
The talks that Lauren actually didn't write her own shit.
Yeah, David says this a lot.
It's
It's
difficult.
not just for that's
No, well, I get it from you. I get it from you, so I say David says that.
I think just because of her impact and how important she was for
In
the
that-
culture
in that
at
small way.
that time, yeah, it'd be heartbreaking if she found out that it was
Some
all
of them are worth.
It's difficult to say or just dismiss that because the whole lawsuit and everything that she lost.
Yeah.
Because her
Like
label tried to dress her up as produce, arrange. She did everything, type of thing, and then it came out that she didn't.
Hey!
And then so you never know.
Yeah.
But I hope not.
And when she tours, she can't tour with these original.
Tracks, no, she has to play different ones. That's why she keeps playing different songs, but she can't do it.
And she's legally binded from showing up on time.
It has to be that. It has to be that. So what is it, shot two?
Shots fired.
Shot Club.
Oh yes, what's the
That's
shot
what we
two?
do.
To shooting shots at Lauren.
And, well, yes.
And
That's
just
the liquor
lost
speaking.
one.
And-
Hey!
All right. So again, Trace, finish the show, please.
ShotClubPodcast.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell to stay notified. We'll be back here next week, and we're gonna get into the season.
Some of us will.
Yes, if you go to icebergsociety.com/shop, you can get our fabulous
Ugly sweater.
ugly sweaters.
Available in red and green.
Green and red.
Are you ugly this year?
The red green shirt.
The Red Green Show! And with that, this hour had 22 minutes.
Thank you for joining us. We out.
This man said this hour has 22 minutes. Okay.